Hello singers, it's Jules here, and today we're talking about vocal fry. So what is vocal fry? Vocal fry is this low, slow, loose, lazy morning voice that you can hear. Technically speaking, it is the vocal folds getting slack and thick and short and then coming together with a really nice clean closure that means we get this slow popping sound. You can probably hear it pop, 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 pop. Yeah, in my voice. What is it not? It is not creak. Creak is when there's a pitch attached. You can hear the e. That would be creak. Whereas vocal fry is off the bottom of your range, beyond your lowest notes, into a place where it's essentially white noise. If you think about it in terms of maybe a guitar string and you tighten that guitar string, it gets put under tension, we get higher and higher notes. If you then release the tension, you get lower and lower notes as the guitar string gets more and more relaxed. Eventually, the guitar string is rattling and no longer making a pitch, but it's still making sound. So when are we using it and why? Well, vocal fry is what I like to call my vocal health check-in. I do it every day at the beginning of my singing, and we're using it just to see, can the vocal folds get nice and slack, and can they get good closure, and can we get a nice balance of the airflow with that closure? If we can, we literally spend a couple of seconds finding it, and then we move on to other things. If they can't, it tells us maybe the voice needs a bit more care, and then we can work on that. So you can get to vocal fry just from a vowel, and that can be a fun way to play with it. Or I find sighing down or sliding down could be a great way too. So, and that can be really effective. Or a V glide. Or I also like using a hum. And you can hear my vocal fry actually is a little bit tight. So what would you do in that situation? Well, my favourite exercise is what I call the woo kazoo, which sounds like this. You can see how I'm blowing air, a little bit of tension in my cheeks, which means the air's getting caught in my cheeks like a little chipmunk. And that's just going to blow a bit of air and hopefully decompress my vocal folds and get a better balance. So let's try that down into a vocal fry. Can you hear how that's so much better than it was a few seconds ago? So that's how we might find it. If we can't find it, it just tells us that maybe our voice isn't in its best condition that day. If a little bit of development and our vocal fry is still not totally healthy, then we need to know that maybe they're a little bit tense, the vocal folds. Maybe we're not getting full closure. Maybe there's some inflammation, and we need to be mindful of that day. Maybe we can give ourselves a bit of a lighter vocal day. If we can't, if we've got gigs, if we've got going to the studio, maybe it's a day just to say, I need to be careful what kind of registers I'm using. I need to be careful how I use my voice, that I'm resting it, that I'm drinking loads of water, and that I'm building in some care into my vocal day, which we should anyway, but particularly on a day when the vocal fry isn't feeling fantastic. Which means you can also use it as a way of checking in that the voice is relaxing at the end of the day, and I thoroughly recommend this. I should do it more in my own singing. What else do you need to know? Don't do vocal fry just before you do some high intensity or high register work. If you imagine those vocal folds nice and relaxed and slack, but with quite a lot of strong connection, we don't want to do that right before we put them under loads of tension and loads of intensity and loads of pressure, like belting or high notes. So if you've just done your vocal fry check-in, make sure you then do some other exercises, some long range glides, some lip trills, some sirens, all sorts of things like that are really going to help you find that you've got the whole voice in a good place before you start singing anything more intense. That said, make sure you don't use your vocal fry too much. I find it's really easy for me as a singing teacher to overuse my vocal fry because I demonstrate it a lot. A few minutes just to check in with it or to try and develop it, and then you're done. And any more than that is probably going to be doing more harm than good. Okay, if you want to look at your vocal fry or you want to look at your voice in general with me, you can book a free consultation. I offer them at my website, julespicture.com. Let's get singing.